So now let us proceed with the cranial nerve testing, specifically on each of the cranial nerves from cranial nerve 1 to 12. For cranial nerve 1, the olfactory nerve is a special afferent cranial nerve that is composed of sensory fibers only. Its sole function basically is to differentiate smell or to discern smells. Olfaction depends on the integrity of your olfactory neurons in the roof of the nasal cavity and their connections to the olfactory bulb, the tract, the stria, to the olfactory cortex of the medial frontal and temporal lobe. So to test for olfaction, an odorant, such as you may use a concentrated vanilla, a peppermint, or coffee, extract, is presented to each nostril in turn. So the patient is asked first to close dapat her eyes and then make sure mo nga i-press mo ang side of the nostril na hindi mo pag-i-test for the meantime. Okay? And then you present any non-irritating na odorant na you will use for testing to each nostril. Okay? Ano siya in turn. Okay? So the patient is asked to sniff with the eyes closed and identify each smell. For cranial nerve 2, the optic nerve contains special sensory afferent fibers that convey visual information from the retina to the occipital lobe via the visual pathway. Evaluation gives important information about the nerves, the optic chiasm, the tracts, the thalamus, your optic radiations, and the visual cortex. So with the cranial nerve 2, usually it is to test for visual acuity using the Snellen eye chart. We will present that later, And then also for peripheral vision, it's in the process of confrontation. And also cranial nerve 2, also the afferent limb of the pupillary light reflex. Okay, so for the cranial nerve 3, the oculomotor nerve contains somatic afferent and visceral afferent motor fibers. So the somatic afferent fibers would innervate your levator, palpebrae superioris, your superior rectus, your medial rectus, your inferior rectus, and your inferior oblique muscles of the eye. The visceral afferent fibers convey parasympathetic innervation for pupillary constriction and accommodation. You test extraocular range of motion by having the patient follow a near target through the 6 positions of gaze or through the H pattern. Note any misalignment of the eyes or complaints of diplopia. When specifically evaluating cranial nerve 3 during testing, you note for the adduction, specifically your medial rectus, depression while abducting or your inferior oblique, and elevation, your superior rectus and your inferior oblique. With pupillary, constriction is tested by the light reflex, as you can see here in the picture, and having the patient focus on a near target, can test accommodation. Okay, so loss of cranial nerve 3 function may cause diplopia and an eye that is down and out with ptosis and mydriasis. Okay, so for cranial nerve 2 and 3, you may use your pen light and then make sure na to deviate ang pen light mo from side to side and you check for pupillary constriction. Okay, so it is with the use of a light reflex. Next, for cranial nerve 3, 4, and 6, the trochlear nerve supplies somatic afferent motor fibers that innervate the superior oblique muscle. So the superior oblique is tested, as previously described by the inspection followed by having the patient track a near target move in an H pattern. Okay, so imo na pen light or any other lang, or you may use your hand or your neurohammer ipadirect mo, pa-follow mo ang imo nga patient sa H na pattern. Okay, so having the patient adduct and look downward to the nose best isolates this nerve. So the trochlear nerve is the only nerve to exit from the dorsal aspect of the brain, and it has the longest intracranial course of any cranial nerve. So for this reason, it is often the most susceptible to damage from intracranial lesions caused by trauma, inflammatory disease and compression. Loss of cranial nerve 4 function causes diplopia with a compensating head tilt. Okay, so for testing for cranial nerve 3, 4, and 6, Ari, ang sa 4, it's your SO4, superior oblique, so nagatulok siya sa babaw, and cranial nerve 6, lateral rectus sa side and side. Have the patient follow a target through the 6 principal positions of gaze. H pattern, Ari, tapos Ari, and then paamo na. Okay, pa-H nga, pattern. For cranial nerve 5, the trigeminal nerve supplies both sensory and motor fibers to the face and the periorbital area. The afferent sensory fibers separate into 3 divisions and carry touch, pressure, pain, and temperature sense from the oral and the nasal cavities and the face. Motor efferent fibers function to innervate several facial muscles, including the muscles of mastication. The sensory portion of the trigeminal nerve is commonly tested by examining the integrity and symmetry of pain and light touch sensation from all areas of the face, specifically the forehead, the cheek, and the jaw. Okay, so you test for the sensory distribution of the trigeminal nerve. You ask the patient to compare the sensation of light touch on both sides of the forehead, the cheek, and the chin. As well as, an additional test for cranial nerve 5 is used to evaluate the trigeminal nerve as well, is the corneal reflex test. So evaluate the reflex by gently touching each cornea with a cotton wisp and observing any asymmetries in the blink response. This tests both the sensory 5th nerve and the motor portion of the 7th nerve, which is responsible for the lid closure. To test the motor component of cranial nerve 5, feel and compare the tone of your masseter muscles during jaw clench. Next, have the patient open his or her mouth and resist the examiner's attempt to close it. So, pa-open mo ang mouth. So, first, ipa-jaw clench mo siya, danay. And then, you feel the masseter, ang tone sa masseter mo. And then, after that, you let the patient open his mouth and resist the examiner's attempt to close it. Okay, so if there is any weakness of the pterygoids, the jaw will deviate towards the side of the weakness. So, kung diin ang weakness, dito siya ma-deviate imo nga jaw. So, sensory loss of cranial nerve 5 is usually due to trauma with vascular damage. Tumors and trauma can result in the damage to the motor aspect of the system. For cranial nerve 6, you test as well, eye movement still. Follow man gyapon ng H pattern, or the patterns of gaze. So your abducens nerve supplies somatic efferent motor fibers to the lateral rectus muscle, which functions to abduct the eye. As in prior discussions regarding extraocular muscles, having the patient follow a near target and tracing an H pattern would test the abducens nerve, specifically ang sa lateral rectus. Okay, na muscle. Inability to abduct the eye indicates possible deficit. Okay, so aneurysms, tumors, meningitis, trauma, and cavernous sinus pathology are all potential causes of abducens na deficits. Okay, so loss of cranial nerve 6 function can elicit complaints of horizontal diplopia and may cause patients to appear esotropic. For cranial nerve 7, okay, so the facial nerve supplies efferent motor innervation to the muscles of facial expression and carries sensory efferent fibers from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue for taste. To test the motor division of the facial nerve, start from the top, and you work down, muscles of the face, from the top and then going down. Have the first, let's say, have the patient wrinkle the forehead and check for the asymmetry. Next, have the patient shut the eyes, tightly while the examiner attempts to open them. and note any weakness on one side. Okay. Finally, have the patient show his or her teeth, no, or smile, and compare the nasolabial folds there, no, on either side of the face. Okay. So, Bell's palsy is usually, no, a common na lower motor neuron lesion of the facial nucleus or its axon. So, the result with Bell's palsy is you would expect may facial asymmetry with drooping of the eyebrow, a smooth nasolabial fold, no, drooping of the corner of the mouth, okay, and a reduced blink reflex on the affected side. To test naman for the sensory fibers, you may apply sugar, salt, or lemon juice on a cotton swab to the lateral aspect of each side of the tongue and have the patient identify the taste. So taste is often tested only when specific pathology of the facial nerve is suspected.